would have been harder, but I left Scotland and went straight to Canada and went right into school, and well, had never been to school in Scotland. We moved to London, Ontario.
Oh, okay.
So we ended up staying in southwestern Ontario almost all my life. Godrich, London, Sarnia, Woodstock. There's a little piece that sticks down into the United States, close down to the border of the United States, and I grew up in there. It's the most densely populated area in Canada, southwestern Ontario. At the time of making the conscious decision of if I wanted to stay where I was, which at that time was Canada, and in a life that was very, very good to me. 1990, I made the decision that I didn't want to continue in that life. I asked my wife at that time, said, let's take off the Caribbean. And she said no. And we eventually split and divorced. And she kept the assets that we had earned together. She kept the assets, and I took some of it and ended up down here. Make a long story short, because I was in a bunch of places before I got here. But here in Costa Rica, I was 6 weeks in this country before I bought a piece of property on the beach, and it happened to be in this town. It was 24 years ago, and I'm still here in this town. Not in the same business. The same business is still here. Somebody else has it now, and now I have this one.
Oh.
Yeah.
And when in Canada, you were in Ontario.
I was Ontario.
And you had a business.
Yes, I had two actually. I had a Tim Hortons donut franchise. I don't know if you know Canada, but Canada, one of their famous exports is a Tim Hortons coffee shop. They're the second biggest on earth. The first one was Dunkin' Donuts. They were the biggest, okay? And then Tim Hortons, I think, have over 2,000 stores now. I had store number 274, and I had it for a number of years. And my ex-wife still has it, and has now another one. So the decisions that were made a long time ago were good, practical decisions that stayed in force and allowed everything to continue to function, whether I was there or whether I wasn't there. Yeah, I also had a big bar, restaurant, nightclub. So I was busy in the morning with a coffee shop, and I was busy at night with the chameleon act of changing from a restaurant into a nightclub and a dance club and doing all that stuff. I was 27 years old, not ugly, not fat, and enjoying the business, but it wore you out. It wore you out completely. It's a tough business, right? It's a tough business, 24 hours a day. I didn't even get to bring my youngest daughter home from the hospital because I was baking donuts. Yeah, craziness. So 60 employees, couple $1 million a year in sales. Go, up and coming young business. No, thank you. I had enough. I was working more and more and more. And my income wasn't becoming more and more and more. I was just working more and more and more. I had a good income. I always had a good income. But my employees were working less and less and less, and their income was going up. And I just looked at the whole thing, and it just didn't make a whole lot of sense to me, and I didn't want to dedicate my whole life to working in that system. I wanted to make it on my own without being forced that 50% of my income is going to wherever they wanted to go, where I had no say. You know, here, on my income tax, if I make enough money to pay income tax, I can actually say, I want you to give this income tax to that school in my town.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
Okay, so you have some control. Up there, you don't have any control. Yeah, the day that broke, the straw that broke the camel's back was a long weekend. A 19-year-old kid I'd trained to be a baker told me he wasn't coming to work the long weekend. I had to work the long weekend. He went, registered for unemployment, and started to collect unemployment. I went and complained that he was collecting unemployment, and they told me to mind my own business. It was my business. He was my employee. That was the straw.
Okay.
Yeah, that wasn't right. And I said, you know what? This isn't quite what I have in mind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what made you say Caribbean?
Well, I've been to the Dominican Republic before. I've been to the Mexican Riviera before. I knew the Caribbean was a laid-back place, sunshine, water, bikinis, coconut.